Hello everybody and welcome to another Premodern video. We're going to be playing in the Premodern Magic Online Society League, and what I tried to play for this time around is going to be a deck that I have no idea what I'm doing with. So bear with me as I play 5 rounds with Sam Black's blue-white land tax scroll rack control deck. This deck I think is an absolute masterpiece, and I played exactly 1 game with this deck so far, and I had literally no idea what I was doing. I have never felt so stupid while piloting the deck before, so I expect that's not going to end. So please do be warned that mistakes will be made, but hopefully we will be able to learn together as we maneuver through this crazy deck. Okay, so here's how this works. This is a deck built around the land tax plus scroll rack engine. So the way that this works is you use Mox Diamond and then cards like Undiscovered Paradise and even cards like Suranor in order to keep yourself low on lands so that you can draw multiple cards with land tax every single turn. Of course, those cards are going to be basics, but what you do is you use scroll rack to shuffle those basics back into the deck and then draw some fresh cards instead. So this is a very powerful card advantage engine that can allow you to draw upwards of like 10-15 cards a turn, which is pretty ridiculous, particularly when you're drawing cards that are super powerful and efficient as Swords to Plowshares, Counterspell, Foil. We even have some extra card advantage with Gush, and then Gaia's Blessing as a way to just a way to end the game, like a win condition, and not only a win condition, but also as a way to make sure that we start to shuffle our good cards back over and over again. So it will get to a point where our deck is just bangers. Like the only thing in our deck is just a bunch of bangers. So we also have like a very powerful Enlightened Tutor package. This is like the best deck to be playing Enlightened Tutor in, which I think is a very overplayed card, but it's absolutely fantastic in this deck. We have access to the Suranor that I already mentioned. We have access to Ivory Tower and Effervescent Furnace. Of course, we can get both Scroll Rack and Land Tax, both parts of our engine online. Then we have Sylvan Library, a Singleton Seal of Cleansing, and a Singleton Humility. All of these that we can just go find whenever we please thanks to the tutor. And then we have a Singleton Spontaneous Generation. And it's really interesting how you kind of have to kill every single one of your opponent's creatures because eventually they're going to get to you. So the way that you actually offset that is thanks to Ivory Tower, where you just like gain enough life that it doesn't matter that your opponent has like a bunch of creatures. You just gain more life every turn and they can deal you damage. And then if you combo that with Humility, then you turn all of the creatures in 1/1s, meaning that it's going to be very easy for your Ivory Tower to offset that. And then eventually you play a Spontaneous Generation for like 15 or something, and then you have 15 1/1s to like however many your opponent has, and you're probably going to win that fight. Then eventually you guys Blessing back your Spontaneous Generation into your deck, and at some point you will draw it again. You make 15 creatures again, and then like close the game that way. This is a very interesting approach to build in the deck, and I really like that. The Spontaneous Generation angle is kind of great in that it stabilizes the game when you're behind, so it can be used as both a win condition and a way to stabilize when you're behind. So that's very cool, and it's something that the other Parfait decks actually don't really have access to. So they only have Oath as a way to make up and to like come back into the game, but Generation is kind of nice in that it doesn't really ask your opponent for permission in order to do anything. So then we have in the sideboard Wrath of God, Hydroblast, Blue Elemental Blast, 4 copies of Annul, Engineer Plague, which is some extra cards for the tutor package, Tormod's Crypt, another one of that we can go find with Enlightened Tutor, an extra copy of Sylvan Library, and then probably the best, in my opinion, the best creature in the format, and probably like the best sideboard card in the format, particularly for a deck like this. 4 Meddling Mages. Meddling Mage is absolutely fantastic in this deck. It's kind of insane because like your opponent can't really have any removal spells in their deck. Maybe like Lightning Bolt against Lie or something like that, but I guess like you just don't bring in Meddling Mage against Lie anyway, so it's kind of whatever. Yeah, Meddling Mage is going to be fantastic versus the combo decks. It's going to be fantastic in like versus control decks, versus kind of everything, which is great. Yeah, as I said, I'm expecting to make a bunch of mistakes, so bear with me, but I am really excited to give this deck a shot. since I've been eyeing it for a while, and I finally think that it's time to pull the trigger before LobsterCon, because I actually bought the deck in paper, so I am hoping to get a couple of reps before I actually go ahead and play it in such a large event. So we'll see how it goes. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. If you would like to support my content, you can do so in a variety of different ways. The cheap and easiest one, because it's free, is whenever you use TCG Player and Mana Traders as services, and you use the links that you will find in the description of the video down below. You are supporting my content for free at no extra cost to you. You will also find a 10% discount of Mana Traders subscription for your first 2 months. You find the code in the description as well. And if you are interested in joining the Magic Online Society leagues, that's a great way to actually play literally every deck in the entire Premodern format, because it's super cheap. really cheap to play Premodern MTGO. And then if you would like to support my content directly, you can do so through Patreon, through direct donations. With any donation of $30 or more, we'll play any deck list of your choice in one of these videos. And then finally, if you're interested in taking your game to the next level, coaching is another service that I offer. That's gonna be it for me for the introduction. We'll see you for number 1. All right, round number 1. This hand is kind of clunky. I think we can do better than this. This is better than that. Perfect. All right, keep this. I think I'm shipping the blessing. Yeah. So let's go turn 1 tax, and we're gonna be able to like trigger it first turn, which is very nice. We're gonna see what we're up against. Gemstone Mine into Sarcomancy. Okay. So I'm gonna trigger here. And I'm gonna say yes. Gonna play island, plains. So the question now, well, that's a pretty good draw. Okay, so let's go. I think we're just gonna play plains. I'm gonna play Ivory Tower, and then I'm gonna play Surin Orb. Seems really hard for my opponent to come back from this, right? We have foil if they happen to play something that we actually care about, which there's not really that many things that we care about. Okay, so I do play Brushland, which is nice because it means that we're gonna get to develop our mana a little bit here. Argothian Enchantress. Wait, what? What? I mean, this feels like one of the few things that I'm actually gonna foil, though, right? This feels like one of the few cards that I'm actually interested in foiling, because if there's any way that my opponent can just get out of hand with anything here, yeah, so take 2 there, that's fine. We're gonna get to like regain a little bit of that life. So Ivory Tower goes on the stack first, then we land tax, get another island, get a couple of planes, I guess. That's a good draw. Yep. So I'm gonna play Paradise so that I can resolve this Coral Rack, and we're just gonna start popping off right here. They do play out the Reflecting Pool here. Another Sarcomancy. Yeah, so my opponent's just trying to erase my tower here. Auratog. Alright. That's fun. I'm into it. Alright. That's cool. Okay, so let's land tax first. Get forest, island. Then we're gonna Ivory Tower. Okay. So let's rack for all of these. And oh, really? We have to like stack these one by one? That seems kind of annoying. Okay, so our engine is online here, so I don't think we're really missing anything. So just gonna play out the Undiscovered Paradise so that I can plow this Auratog, but we're kind of cooking. Just gonna discard the library. Don't think we need it. And the redundant scroll rack. I was really hoping to find Mox Diamond there. Was really hoping to find the Mox there. I guess I don't even need to kill the Auratog. I'm at 23 and I'm gonna be gaining like 10 on my next upkeep, so I guess I can just take a bunch of damage. Because that way I get to like I get some more agency over what I do with this Undiscovered Paradise. So we get to wait to see whether my opponent's going to play out another land or something. Seal of Cleansing. Well, there you go. So now I guess I'm gonna tutor. So they go after the rack. We have another one, so it's no big deal. So I guess I'm not gonna tutor then. just going to... Oh, I forgot to tap my mana. Oh, man. Oh, that's brutal. All right. My bad. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna play Scroll Rack here. Man, I feel like that's the kind of mistake that I'm about to do a lot. I think that's the kind of mistake that I'm probably going to do a lot as I get used to the deck's mechanics and that kind of stuff. So this is fine. We'll just take this damage. Doesn't really do anything. Burst of Paradise. I think I'm actually gonna plow that one. Seal of Strength. Wow. Alright. So let's get a Plains. And I'm gonna STP the birds. And I'm going to Suranorb one of these planes. So go to upkeep, stack my triggers, draw my islands, gain my life. I'm surprised they didn't get the ivory tower there. So here's land tax. And I think I'm going to play the Paradise again. And just going to discarding Lightning Tutor, I guess. Opponent goes to combat. Swing for a bunch. That's fine. Would like to see some Moxen. Whenever champions put into graveyard, draw a card. Yeah, we plow now. Let's plow now. And I guess on upkeep we're gonna stack my triggers. And I honestly don't know how many. I should have enough lands, I think. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. And then the other land tax. 1, 2, 3. No, Ivory Tower, just gain a gazillion. That's a good one. So let's rack for way too much. I guess I'm gonna leave an island. Jesus. Oh, there we go. There's a Mox. Alright, so keep all of these lands in here. So let's play Mox. Discard the island. Play Undiscovered Paradise. And I think we're gonna try to generation next turn, meaning that I'm probably gonna tutor for another Mox. Yeah, so let's do that. So I'm just gonna pass the turn back. We're gonna discard probably land tax, gush. Let's discard land tax, tutor, gush, land tax, seal of cleansing, and now we're going to see what my opponent does. And we're gonna E-tutor for a Mox. That's a bird, that's fine. Alright, so E-tutor for a Mox. And then I guess I might as well Swords to Plowshares the bird. I'm trying to like really keep my opponent off of their mana. Like they seem to have like some greedy mana base going on. So I want to make sure that I can punish that, particularly as I am drawing a gazillion cards and gaining infinite life. So, oh, I just realized that I tutored for the Mox and then I just shuffled it away. Yeah, again, this is the kind of stuff that I'm that I think I'm gonna be smashing my head against the wall with as I try to learn the mechanics of this deck. So get that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9. Just gonna put in. Man, I've been really bad at drawing my Moxen, huh? Really bad at drawing my Moxen. Sure. Okay, so fetch for an island, and I'm just going to Swords to Plowshares the Auratog. Just get rid of it and pass the turn. Go to discard. Discard Blessing, land, foil. So even if I don't trigger rack next turn, yeah, that's fine. So next turn I'm going to shuffle away a Blessing, I think. Sure. I don't think that really does anything. Then I can gush and put myself ahead on lands. So I'm not going to tax this turn. Oh, wait a second. They actually played a land? Oh, that's great. Perfect. So now I'm going to be able to spontaneous generation for a lot. 1, 2, 3. And then say yes. 1, 2, 3. And this is one thing that I kind of really like about this deck compared to the other Parfait versions, is that this one closes. Dude, how am I not finding my Moxen? This is kind of ridiculous. Okay, sounds good. Go to discard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, cool. We have 12 cards left in the deck, and we're going to start looping blessings and spontaneous generations here. Rancor. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, untap. Triggers. Gain some life. Untap. Another attacks. So, blessing, shuffle, another blessing generation, and probably another blessing. Just shuffle an island. Look, Mox. Perfect. Discard that. Play an island. I mean, I just swing twice, right? I have counterspell plus foil, so just win the game into attacks. Seems acceptable to me. Yep. All right, cool. So we're playing against a very interesting deck. Annals look fine. Wrath looks interesting. So those are the cards that I'm looking at. I don't think Phyrexian Furnace does anything. Ivory Tower seems like an all-star. Same with Sewer and Orb. Counterspell seems meh. I don't think I like Library. And I don't think I like Humility. Maybe Humility is fine. Yeah, Humility looks fine. Foil seems cool. Seal of Cleansing seems kind of mediocre. At least I didn't see any enchantments that I'm interested in blowing up. But I think that it's fine to leave it in play, right? It's fine to just have access to a Seal of Cleansing that I can just tutor for in order to just do the thing. I think on the draw, I'm not super high on these counter spells. Maybe 2 of them are fine. Maybe Cut a Blessing. Yeah. Sand seems good. Keep it. Turn 1 counter spell. I'm expecting my opponent to have like a bunch of duresses and things like that. So I don't expect that this game is going to be as easy as the previous one. Turn 1 Gemstone Mine into Planar Void. Interesting. Okay. Huh. So I think I'm going to go Diamond, discard Strand. Discard Flooded Strand. That gets exiled, that's fine. Play Island, say go. So this we can actually get rid of with the Seal. But I'm obviously going to try to get my engine online first. So we're going to be tax racking. Thran Quarry. Love it. Dude, Premodern mana bases are such a banger. I think I can let that bird go. Let's tutor for land tax. And tap. Now this is the point, right? I think I just play out a naked land tax and I play the Ivory Tower. And my opponent may have a way to interact with this, and that would be a bummer. But I don't think that playing a land and hold up counterspell. If I had Undiscovered Paradise, then it would be a very easy, just like play Paradise, play tax, hold up counterspell. But the problem is if I don't do anything, like if I like disallow my own tax rack, that's gonna be really bad news for me. Okay, so my opponent had an Enchantress, which is great for them, but at least we get our engine going here. Gonna get some islands on the plains. Not bad. Not bad, so we're just gonna pass the turn back here. And we're basically only gonna counter whatever interacts with my engine here. Yeah, I think that's cool. Wow, that's a card. All right. That's neat. Love it. All right, let's get my scroll rack here. Tutors are going away. No. So we're not going to. I'm gonna say no, so we don't shuffle. And now we're going to. I think now I am actually going to play a land before I rack. Just because I want to guarantee that I at least have access to one activation. Maybe I should just be activating main phase. The reason being so that I can, go ahead and find a Sewer and Orb, so I can discard my island. Another Enchantress. Okay, so let's rack here, and I think I'm gonna return everything, but the counterspell. Actually, I'm gonna return the counterspell too, and I'm just gonna make sure that I put it on top. So top. Actually, I guess I want to put the blessing on top. The blessing means if I use the blessing, actually, yeah, I actually have to do it like this. Because if I use the blessing, then I don't get to, like, I don't get it back, right? So now we're gonna shuffle so I get some new cards. This is not the way that you love to do it, you know, but it's the way that we have to do it, I guess. So now we're gonna rack main phase, put all that stuff on top. Okay, top. Yeah, this is fine. We don't have a shuffler, which is awkward, but I think this is okay. So we want to find something like Gush. All right, so now my opponent has played a third land, meaning that if I find a Gush or something, we should be in great shape. We're gonna definitely counter the Seal of Cleansing because both cards get exiled. Interesting. So we're gonna take 4. Here we're gonna gain a life, which is okay. I think I racked for the full amount here. 2, 3, 4, 5. Still nothing. It sucks. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just gonna play nothing, send the turn back. Maybe I should have played out this Undiscovered Paradise. The idea was I wanted to gain a life, but so we're taking 4 down to 13. We're still a ways away from losing here. But next turn, like every time that we hold more cards in hand, like we make our scroll rack better and better. So that's kind of the idea. So send everything back. We know we're drawing at least 1 Mox. Still no way to shuffle. All right, send it back. I think next turn I'm going to just Spontaneous Generation for 7 instead of playing a land. Well, I guess I can do it in that order. So we're gonna take 4, we're gonna gain 4, and then we're gonna Spontaneous Generation for 7, and then we get to for 6, my bad, and then I get to Mox. But now the generation is gone because of the Planar Void, so I do have to watch out. Don't have infinite time here. Seal of Fire. Woof. Gonna plow one of these Enchantresses. Otherwise, it's gonna gain too many life. I mean, this Planar Void is owning me hard. This Planar Void is proving to be very tough to beat here. Duress. Probably gonna take the Source of Plowshares. Will I take the foil? Interesting. I guess I can just hardcast that foil, so makes a little bit of sense. So now Griffin's gonna do some attacking, I assume. I may get to a point where I'm gonna need to just Source to Plowshares the Griffin, which is really awkward. They're killing the Saproling. Alright, take 2. Down to 10. No triggers. Draw a card. Send the turn back. I guess I could, if I Source to Plowshares and I attack, I can attempt to race. I think I want that. Like, I'm probably gonna be plowing this thing anyway. So now I can just attempt to end the game. We still have 2 Source to Plowshares. Opponent's got 6 cards in hand, which is quite threatening. Ugh. This Griffin is doing stuff. Draw a card. It's a Mox. Swing for 5. Send it back. So I mean, if nothing changes, I'm winning the race, right? But the problem is my opponent's gonna have like a bunch of enchantments and things that are going to like draw them cards, and they also have like buff effects for the Griffin. I'm probably gonna scroll rack on end step. Wow, they're not attacking. Well, that's good for me. So rack on end step. I guess it doesn't do anything, huh? So now we can't attack anymore. Just kind of awkward, but it's fine. Man, I really want to find like another tutor. If I find another tutor, I can find Surinor, but then I can start shuffling. Sarcomancy. Not super scared of the 2/2, but I'm kind of scared of the card draw. Like for my opponent to get in their engine online. It's gonna be Engineer Plague. Dude, that's brutal. Alright, I think I conceded to this because I don't have win conditions anymore. So at this point, my win condition is to deck my opponent, which means I need to answer everything on board. And yeah, I think it's better for me to concede here. Man, that Planar Void was a lot worse for me than I expected. I mean, we still do have all the annals on the stuff, we just didn't find it in time. So I do think, I guess I want to have access to another Blessing. I don't think I care for Library, for Plague, I mean. Another copy of Counterspells, a little bit more enticing on the play. I'm gonna cut a foil. Alright, so my main enemy here is gonna be, yeah, we keep this. My main enemy here is the clock, so I have to make sure that I can do that quickly. So now I can go turn 1 Mox Tutor and go get land tax. then play land tax on turn 2, and I guess we lose to Seal of Cleansing. But that seems fine. I can time walk myself one more time, but opponent moves to 6. Mox Diamond, say go. Gemstone Mine. No. No way they... Oh, okay. I was gonna say, no way they're gonna do this on turn 1. Okay, get land tax. Play the land tax. Is this good enough? I mean, if I get to untap, I think I'm gonna be in really good shape. But I do need to untap though, because I can get rid of this Enchantress, and I can take it from there. But if my opponent has a Seal of Cleansing, they get to Seal of Cleansing, destroy my land tax, and then like draw 2 cards, which is devastating, obviously. Auratog. Alright, so this looks good here. Going to hit the trigger, say yes. Blue, plains. Play an island and say go. Sarcomancy. So I can counter this. Let me just annul this. Seems fine. Seal of Fire. I think I'm just gonna plow the Enchantress. Just want to make sure that my opponent doesn't really get any value going. So now I can, I have many options here. I can tutor for a way to get myself under land tax again. I can also just blessing. I can also just pass the turn and hold up counters, but I think I like that. You know, Discovered Paradise is doing good work for me. Tethered Griffin. So they can't sack the seal. I guess that's fine. So I just tutor for Rack. I mean, I did get locked out. I did get locked out last game with the engine in play because I could never find Suranorb. So I could just get Suranorb here. Let's just get Suranorb. Just don't want to get randomly cheesed out. So let's get Suranorb into play. And I guess I can just Blessing here because I'm not really scared of anything. I guess Planar Void could be annoying. But I kind of want to shuffle the STP and the Enlightened Tutor back in. So I think I'm just going to pass the turn back. And then I'm going to sack to Suranorb on end step. Because Planar Void would be kind of annoying, honestly. Take 3 here. This seems fine. Man, this is really interesting. Sure. My opponent's really struggling over there between like being short on mana. So I think that I can take advantage of this situation. So now I have land tax going plus Rack. So find some lands. That's perfect. So I think I'm just going to just play land and say go. So I can get a Rack in play. Maybe my opponent will choose to like not play lands, period. Because I have Tax Orb going. And then we can take advantage of that. Okay, they do play land. Another seal. Okay. So I guess I'm just going to go get the Ivory Tower now. So get Ivory Tower, and I guess I might as well Blessing here first. Get STP, Tutor back in the deck. Perfect. So just put Ivory Tower here, send the turn back. I think this is the lock now. I just have to remember to not be an idiot and like just sack both lands on my end step. My opponent can also just like never play a land again, but I don't think that's going to work out well for them. So sack that, and tap, land tax, trigger, island, plains, island, gain some life. Another Mox is great. Discard plains. I guess I don't have a Rack here, so I'm just going to pass it back. Put in place another land. So that allows me to actually develop my mana a little bit, which is nice. They were probably sandbagging that land for what's worth. Alright, so stack trigger, say yes, find my plains, say okay. So let's play an island, and I'm going to blessing, and just 2 lands. Finding Tutor, that's perfect. So I guess I just Tutor now. So I don't have to go to discard. I'm just gonna go to discard. That's fine. Because I have 2 lands that I can go fetch that I just shuffled, so this is fine. So I think now I just have to make sure that I finish the game in time. Because this is locked up. So Tutor for Rack and tap. Gain life. Say no. Play land. Play Rack. Send it back. I just have to find Spontaneous Generation. Take some more damage. Put in place a land. Another Griffin, end step, Rack, Get those lands back in there. And tap. Stuck my triggers. Say yes. Find my lands. Gain my life. Draw my card. Man, this deck has so many game actions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Get stuff back. Play Undiscovered Paradise. Guess I'm gonna have to source the Plowshares there. Pass the turn. So now I just have to make sure I don't die. Does look like I'm probably gonna time out here. I need to find Spontaneous Generation really quickly. Probably should have countered that, but I'm F6. Actually, it's fine. Yeah, that one's much better, 2-0. Alright. Trigger. Fetch lands. Gain life. Source the Plowshares. Okay, so rack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Put them in any order. Can shuffle that, that. Play Mox. Discard that. Just plow the Griffin. They sack a Seal. I wonder why. So, we're just hard looking for Spontaneous Generation here. Kind of the only card that matters. That one seems worth countering. Let's counter it. Upkeep, stack triggers, tax, get lands at random, gain life, play Paradise, rack, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's a Spontaneous Generation. So we may be able to actually end this game. So I'm dead to specifically, here I'm dead to specifically my opponent go in duress into Plague. So if they do that, I lose. We should have everything else covered. And my opponent has this turn to do that, right? So there are 2 cards in hand need to be specifically Duress and Engineer Plague. Enchantress is fine. That can get Source of Plowshare. And now I think the game's locked, so I'm just not going to bother taxing and stuff. So I'm just going to Source of Plowshares that, Source of Plowshares that, go to combat, swing for 8, pass the turn back. Opponent's land gets destroyed. That's hilarious. Hadn't even thought about that actually. Man, if every game is gonna be as long as this one, if every match is gonna be as long as this one, this is gonna be a league. Damn. Blue mana, white mana. Sorry, white and 1. What is this? Plague? No, thank you. Opponent packs it in. Woof! Damn, what a trip. That was kind of exciting though. That was kind of an exciting match. That was cool. All right, round number 2. I do wonder if this is the kind of hand I'm supposed to keep. I'm going to keep it and we'll see where this goes. But, I mean, it's a turn 1 tax, right? It's gotta be good. We also have our little endgame here in Humility. I guess my best draw would be, what, Mox Diamond? I guess if this were Surinor, I would be a little bit happier. But, I mean, turn 1 tax. Like, it's gotta be good enough. One downside that this deck has over, like, actual Parfait is the fact that Korean Ranger, so this is probably Elves. One downside this deck has, as I was saying, is the fact that we kind of have to hold up counterspell mana. Man, Korean Ranger means I'm never going to trigger this land tax, so maybe I should just be developing there. Maybe I should have just played the land. Because this Korean Ranger means that I'm just never going to trigger this, right? Yeah, so I just need to be hitting my land drops and like play towards Humility. Yeah. This hand this hand did not work out at all. This hand did very much the opposite of working. Opponent taps a mana here. They're gonna make. They have 6 mana right here. I don't have a plow. This is just an absolute disaster. Multani Acolyte. Like, we are at a point here where I can't even. Yeah, I think that's enough. Probably can't beat this. Like, I don't have removal. So, like, this game is gonna take a while before it's gonna be over, but let's continue playing. Like, if I hit land drop into land drop and I'm somehow not dead, then I may be able to steal this. There's Symbiote. Yeah. This matchup feels bad, man. This matchup feels kind of very bad. Okay, I mean, this is gonna take way too long. I'm kind of off it, Reno. Okay, so I definitely want Meddling Mages. Definitely want the Plagues. And potentially Wrath. And then what do I not want? Furnace. I guess Furnace is okay. Yeah, I guess Furnace is fine. Let's cut 2 counter spells, 1 Gaia's Blessing. I really doubt that my opponent's gonna be able to break up my blessing thingy. Let's cut a library. Gushes seem fine. I probably do want both Ivory Tower and Suran Orb. Maybe 3 mages. No, mage has to be great, right? Like mage just comes down. It's actually a 2/2, which matters. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut a couple of counter spells and the foil. I could see cutting Seal of Cleansing, but I have to have at least one answer to survival. But yeah, Quirion Ranger is pretty solid against my land tax engine, huh? Let's try this again. Couple of Swords to Plowshares. Okay. Okay, let's keep this. I'm gonna lead on basic Plains. And then I'm gonna play Undiscovered Paradise as my second land. But I don't think I can lead on the Paradise, because if I need to plow something, then yeah, Ranger's probably gotta go. So just kill that. Huh, interesting. Yeah, let's just go with Paradise here and play my Scroll Rack. Next turn I'm gonna lead on Rack and see what's up. And I guess I'm gonna rack everything back except for the Flooded Strand so I can shuffle. Priest. Okay. I guess I may plow that. But let's lead on Rack 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's rack for 4. Oh, I like a lot of this here. So I think we shuffle all of this away. Actually, I can't. I need to Swords to Plowshares the Priest. Let's go foil on top, then Blessing, then Rack, then Undiscovered Paradise. And I think we're going to play Swords to Plowshares here and say go. And next turn I'm going to play Undiscovered Paradise and play Meddling Mage plus land tax. And I do have a Paradise, and I do have, what's his name on top? Okay, so play Meddling Mage. And I think Meddling Mage is gonna name Naturalize. I can also name Priest of Titania or Survival. Let's name Survival. And I know that I already have the Seal of Cleansing in hand, but I think that is fine because I'm gonna be shuffling the Seal of Cleansing away. So I have Rack, Blessing, and next turn I guess I can go Rack, the Blessing. Oh, okay. So there's an Acolyte. And now they're gonna have to like bounce a land, otherwise they're gonna let me trigger tax rack, land tax. All right, let's shuffle here. Let's get 3 islands. Good one. So let's rack 1, 2, 3. All right. That's some stuff. So top. I'm gonna lead on Mox Diamond, discarding this. Then I'm going to Swords to Plowshares Quirion Ranger. And I'm going to play Undiscovered Paradise. And I'm going to play Meddling Mage. And I think we name Quirion Ranger. Because now, if I name Quirion Ranger here, I really limit my opponent's mana. Yeah, this looks... I guess I could just name Naturalize. Yeah, let's just name Naturalize here. Obviously, we don't attack. Let's see if my opponent pays Echo. This is actually an interesting decision here. Oh, they do. Okay. Just not expecting that. So now the engine is online. Gonna say yes here. And I guess we're just gonna shuffle these 3 Swords of Plowshares back. Let's get some islands. Tutor. Guess they can find Humility. So let's shuffle some of those. Hehehe. That's good. Seems pretty good. I like that. I can go island and then Gush. That's probably fine. So let's go island and then Gush on the following turn. But this plague is gonna name Elf, and that should end the game. Then our Elf. 3 mana to hard cast Squee. That's a way to do it. That is definitely a way to do it. So we cannot trigger a Rack here, so I'm just gonna tutor for just a plague. I can also just tutor for a Mox Diamond. I just tutor for a second plague. Like I don't know how I lose this game now. Name Elf here. and swing for a bunch. Swing for 4. You love to see Medley being frisky. So I can rack here, or I cannot rack. If I am gonna rack, I'm gonna gush first. Opponent fetches Wooded Foothills. Let's see what they get. There's not that many cards that do anything that they can play here. My Aggro is one of them. Okay. So that's actually a 1/1. And now, I mean, I think I'm just going to go float a mana, gush on my opponent's end step. Oh, my opponent just did it for me here, so I don't need to gush. If I gush, I get that many more lands, but my opponent actually played an extra land. So, actually, I need to be worried of something like Biorhythm at this point, so I'm gonna be like digging. I'm gonna be digging for something like foil. So I don't want to randomly lose to. I don't want to randomly lose to stupid Biorhythm. Although I guess they can't Biorhythm because I have two. I have 2 creatures, so they actually cannot do that. So that's neat. All right, I'm gonna rack for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I guess I'm gonna leave. Okay, so there's the foil, so we should be good now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I guess we plow the squee, so now we don't have to worry about that anymore. Swing. I'm gonna play Undiscovered Paradise, play a Furnace, activate, and send the turn. So there's a gush and there's an Engineer Plague on top. So I guess I should have actually gotten the Mox instead of the second Plague. Although I guess I kind of want to just keep the Plague on top of my deck. So yeah, we just untap here, draw the Plague, that's fine. Let's do that, I guess. Play a land, swing, and there's another gush on top. I'm just gonna play a second. Just gonna play a second Plague on Elf. Send the turn back. Tangled Wire. Sure. Tangled Wire resolves. Tangled Wire resolves. So I have. My opponent's got 6 lands. I also have 6 lands. So I'm just gonna gush here. And then I'm going to rack. 1, 2, 3. Done. For some good ones. It's kind of brutal that it makes you click every single one. So I can get aggressive here. Now this is, I mean, this game is just over, right? So I'm just gonna tap my creatures. Gonna get rack again. Get some islands and the plains. Play Mox. Discard Flooded Strand. 2 mana. Scroll rack. Land tax. And I guess might as well play Mage. And now I'm gonna name Werewood Symbiote. Let's name. I guess Biorhythm doesn't do anything, so let's name Kamal. Yeah, let's name Kamal. Oh, actually, what's the 5 mana guy? The Range Hermit. I think that's the only thing that matters now. Play another island. Say go. So we got foil, we got rack, and we have triple Meddling Mage in play. My opponent has very few cards that matter. They should be tapping that Cradle probably. They play a forest, fetch, and end step. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom, boom. That's cool. Tangle Wire. My tax. Got that. Got that. Okay. Tax for some lands. Tax for. Do I want to tax for more lands? This is mostly so I can make a very, very lethal generation. I mean, I guess it's more for Flourish than anything else. It's more for Flourish than else at this point. Blessing. Get back. Some good stuff. A land. Go to discard. 1. So now I'm gonna have stuff to tap on upkeep. I'm gonna have at least a couple of things to tap on upkeep, which is nice. Do I play around Biorhythm? That is the question here. I guess I'd rather have a Null than Seal of Cleansing on the draw. And maybe a second copy of a Null because of Tangle Wire, which can potentially be an issue if I'm on the draw. Foil seems good, but only once I have my engine going, so it's a little bit sketch. This seems potentially fine. Yeah, I don't think I want that. I don't want a second and all. Meddling Mage is such a banger. Okay, so we have a no-lander. Kind of sucks because this hand is insane. But... Alright, yep, gonna keep this one. Bottom the Suranord? Quirion Ranger. That's not great. This is interesting, right? Because I kind of want to be hitting my land drop, so I think I'm gonna go fetch land turn 1, and I'm not gonna Mox because I want to have access to Undiscovered Paradise here. Drawing Spontaneous Generation is kind of brutal, actually. Let's just go Flooded Strand, go. There's also the possibility of just having to play I should be playing for Ancient Furnace there. I do think that if I do find a land, I'm gonna probably be in great shape because I can just play the Plague, get a nice little 2-for-1. Assuming my opponent plays anything, okay. So they do play Priest. So I'm gonna try to see if I can untap and find any land. That's brutal. Okay, I'm gonna have to Source to Plowshares this thing. So let's go to Plains, and I'm gonna Source to Plowshares the Priest, and I'm gonna play out Undiscovered Paradise. And I guess I'm just going to play out Furnace and activate target my opponent there. So now we're still in the search for a land. Elves Champion. Well, that's a problem. It's a big problem. Land tax is not bad. Land tax is a pretty decent draw there. So let's target my opponent. And I think I'm going to actually play a Mox here. We get super blown out if my opponent does have something. But I do need to leave myself the possibility. I may have to cycle here. So my opponent can just like lift a land now and then get me that way. They can also just ignore the land tax, right? Okay, so they're going to like play around it, which means that I'm gonna need to find I'm gonna need to find a way to I'm gonna have to cycle this for Ancient Furnace. So I assume, yeah. So let's cycle Furnace, Exiling Flooded Strand. We did find a land, which is nice, but okay. So this slows down the clock a fair amount. I name Elf. So we do need to find a Source to Plowshares for the Elvis Champion, and then we're gonna be cooking. Man, that missed land drop on that key turn is probably gonna be enough for us to not get there. Particularly if my opponent has any way to answer this Plague here. Quirion Ranger is a beating. Quirion Ranger really is a beating. I do wonder if I was supposed to kill the Quirion Ranger as opposed to killing the Priest, since the Priest was not adding that much mana without the Quirion Ranger. It's an interesting thought, right? It is definitely an interesting thought. Maybe I should have considered that. We do have some potential game-winning draws here. Source to Plowshares wins the game on the spot. Second Engineer Plague also wins the game. But I don't think we have that many great draws. Oof. So if I play Spontaneous Generation, this thing can't attack. So, yeah, maybe I just made a pretty big mistake there. So I can Spontaneous Generation for 1, which obviously seems like it's not going to be. So I'm going to be taking 4 this turn, or up to 4. But I think I'm supposed to ship it, and I guess wait 1 more turn. Unless my opponent has somehow not found their Naturalize. Opponent swings for 4, down to 6. I guess I should have played the Ivory Tower. I was considering I want to have an extra 1/1 to block next turn. But it is possible that I was just supposed to play out the Aggro Tower in case my opponent finds a Cradle or something. Oof, second Ranger. Medley Mage. Ugh. So if I play out Mage, my opponent can only swing for 5. I go down to 1. Or I can play a land, fetch, and I guess go down to 2 with 2 blockers. I can also play Medley Mage. If I play Medley Mage, then I can't play Flooded Strand. What an interesting situation here. Man, I'm really in a pickle. I think the best that I can do is to play Medley Mage just to ensure that I don't randomly die to another card. Because if I Spontaneous Generation, I'm still in the same spot next turn where my opponent can just set up lethal, because I can just present 2 blockers but then my opponent just saves whatever they find, and I'm still winning regardless if I do find the missing piece. So by playing Meddling Mage, I also get to play around something like I do get to play around something like a Naturalize or something like that. So it's probably going to be either Naturalize or let's say Survival. Yeah, let's say Survival. Survival of the fittest. And let's send it back. So now my opponent can attack, and then I would go down 1. I guess they can't attack with the Elves champion, and probably can't attack with Symbiote either. So I guess they don't really have great attacks here. I mean, they can attack with all the other 3 Elves, and then whatever I block, they bounce. So they can probably figure out a good attack here. Uktabi? It's not the end of the world. That's not the end of the world. It's not great, obviously, but again, I'm still drawing towards Swords to Plowshares anyway, right? And if I do find Swords to Plowshares, I can probably still win. Okay, so they swing with all of those 4, and I think I'm blocking one of these Query Majors. Like, whatever gets blocked, my opponent's gonna bounce anyway, so we take 3. We take 3, and now at this point, I guess Second Plague doesn't do it anymore. So we are literally at Swords to Plowshares or bust. Yeah, Gaia's Blessing gives me a redraw, I guess. So let's get, yeah, we're gonna shuffle, and we're going to get an island. And I have to draw specifically Swords to Plowshares, and I get to shuffle 1 more copy into the deck. And because it's the only draw that I'm looking for here, I'm only gonna shuffle the Swords. Swords to Plowshares 1 time. Suran Orb. Alright. So Suran Orb means I do get to sack both lands, gain 4, up to 6. Okay? And I'm gonna play Auratog because I may gain in life on my upkeep. I'm not gonna have land, so I'm still looking for specifically Swords to Plowshares. And now the question is, do I block Uktabi or do I block something else? I guess depending on how my opponent attacks, I'm gonna be forced to block Uktabi. If they swing everything, I am forced to block Uktabi, I think. Because I would be taking 5, and I would be at 6. So they should just swing everything, and I'm just forced to trade and sack both of my lands. Man, this game is close. This game is so freaking close. And it all came down to not killing the Quirion Ranger. Like, again, this is what I was expecting to do in this league. Make a bunch of mistakes so that I can, learn from them. So now I know that this thing needs to die, right? If I have a Swords to Plowshares and there's a Quirion Ranger and the Priest, it is the Ranger the one that's gotta go. Okay, so block there, trigger Orb, or I guess activate Orb. Activate Orb. Okay, so now my opponent's gonna get to do some stuff if they wish. But I'm still drawing towards specifically Swords to Plowshares. Gonna have 1 look. And then obviously, Naturalize. Any of those cards just beat me. They untap. And I guess they can play around stuff here. Get to draw an extra card. Okay. We get to gain a life. Land tax gets Island, Plains. And Ivory Tower gains 1 life. Swords to Plowshares. 1 time? No! So I get to go to 2? Oh, this is... I keep thinking that this is 4, but no, it's actually... I didn't get any life. Which is fine. I still would have gotten to, play a land, then Swords to Plowshares. This thing, opponent bounces it, and then their things die. But... yeah. Yeah, I'm dead now. Wow, what a close match. What a very, very close match. GG's, opponent. Well played. Okay, what do we got here? Interesting hand. We are not close to our engine, and we're missing 1 island for Gush. Also, Suran Orb is kind of a mulligan depending on the matchup. I think we're gonna ship this hand. Ugh. I guess this is worse, huh? Let's ship that one too. This one I do like, however. So let's keep this. We're gonna bottom, I guess, Flooded Strand and Basic Island. And I'm gonna say, okay. And I think we're just gonna go Mox Diamond. And I'm just going to pass the turn back. And now we're gonna be able to get land tax online. Let's see what we're up against. Llanowar Elves. So let's tutor for tax. And I guess we're going to hope that my opponent does not have Quirion Ranger, because Quirion Ranger would be a hell of a card here. So play tax, send the turn back, hope to dodge Quirion Ranger. I learned my lessons here though. Naturalize is devastating. Naturalize is absolutely devastating. Okay, they missed the land drop, so I'm just going to kill the Llanowar Elf here. We do get to play the Undiscovered Paradise, but whew, that Naturalize is rough. That Naturalize is super rough. Okay. So send the turn back. We can counter something if we need to. Priest is probably worth countering here, with my opponent continuing to miss land drops. We're gonna get back our Undiscovered Paradise. Sure, let's play out the rack. Dude, like the main deck Naturalize is so brutal there. So what are we trying to do here? I guess priority number one is to find... Okay, so they did find Survival, which means they're gonna have access to their engine. I think I'm supposed to just rack for the max amount and just hope that I draw land into what's his name. That's not it. So we are falling pretty far behind here. We know we don't have the island on top. We're gonna draw Discover Paradise here, so we can probably counter something next turn, but they also had the natural squee. Yeah, we're pretty far behind here. The main deck Naturalize, pretty devastating. Opponent finds a Priest, which we cannot deal with. Okay, they do cast the Priest, and I assume they're just going to pass the turn here. There's Undiscovered Paradise. I could play a Mox, but I know that the top two cards are Island and Ivory Tower, so I think I want to just draw 4. Let's put this stuff back. Another Scroll Rack. Yeah, at this point I'm just too far behind. I think I'm just going to concede to save time. I just don't think I'm going to have enough time to actually keep up with what my opponent's doing. So let's just bring in the Melee Mages, the Engineered Plagues, and I think I liked the cut the counter spells strategy. There's also we cut one of the Blessings in the last match. I actually did like my post board configuration in the previous matchup. So we cut Library and 1 foil, just leaving the 2 foils. So this is like a new Elves approach, which is main decking I think 2 or 3 Naturalizes. I think it's very good, because Tangle Wire is a card that the Elves deck has been playing for the longest time, and which is pretty strong, but it's one of those cards that it's pretty high upside and like very often just does nothing. So it's kind of more of a swingy card, while Naturalize, considering the current state of the format, is just going to be a banger unless you're playing against specifically Goblins. But if you're playing against Goblins, you're probably gonna have a bad time regardless if you're playing Elves. So I think it's like a fair gamble to make, and it gives you much better game versus Oath decks, versus like Parfait. So like if my opponent had the Tangle Wire instead of the main deck Naturalize, I feel like we would have easily won that game. Okay, so let's keep this, and I'm gonna go obviously turn 1 Paradise into tax, and we're at least gonna be getting 1 activation, which is very nice, unless my opponent chooses to like skip a land drop, which is not particularly likely to work out for them. The question here, however, is do I want to plow these Llanowar Elves, and I think the answer is no. So let's go Island, and the Plains. Another land tax is interesting. So if I go for another land tax, it's interesting. I don't think I want to do that. So I think I'm going to play out the Suran Orb. And the question is, do I want to Source of Plowshares the Elf or not? I think I'm going to play out the basic Plains, and I'm just going to play out another... Yeah, I'm just going to play the Auratog and just send the turn back. And then if my opponent plays Quirion Ranger, we're going to kill that instead of the Llanowar Elf. But here, if my opponent has to Naturalize, they're pretty likely to use it on the land tax, which gives me... Yeah, exactly. So this gives me like a nice little advantage, because my opponent actually played another land. With them missing a land drop, I'm a little bit more interested in killing the Llanowar Elf now. With my opponent, and not playing a creature, I mean, not missing a land drop. That's not what I meant to say. So that's a blank. But now we get to go land tax into Undiscovered Paradise, and I think I'm just going to plow the Llanowar Elf here and send the turn back. This is going to limit my opponent's access to mana a little bit. If they have second Naturalize, it's kind of fine. We still need to find our other engine piece, right? Okay, interesting. So they go for the Null Rod. So this is not common at all as a sideboard card. Fortunately, we do have access to the seal. So at least we have a way to work around this. We gain pretty significant amount of life, and our hand is just it's just a bunch of blanks. All right. So send the turn back. Going to discard Flooded Strand, and I guess I'm discarding an island. Maybe I should be discarding a plane. We're not going to be able to use Suron Orb anymore. Man, such an interesting version of Elves. Like, Elves has seen a lot of innovation lately, which I think is pretty cool. Definitely going to keep cleaning my deck off of basics. So now I have basically mono gas in the deck, right? Except for these artifacts, which don't. So play the Paradise and send the turn back. It's funny how my hand is literally every single basic in my deck. I'm at a pretty high life total, but I don't know how much that really does for me, considering that I have literally nothing going on. Tangle Wire? Really? I mean, this is great for me. I don't think... I mean, I'll take it, I guess. So, Tangle Wire resolves. I'm gonna tap 1, 2, 3, 4. Gain some life. Activate land tax, sure. Just draw. Alright, sounds good, sounds good. Draw the Flooded Strand there. That's hilarious. I do like my opponent playing the objectively correct basics. Respect that. Respect that. Yeah, I mean, this is what I was saying about Tangle Wire. Like, this is just a blank right here. Like, this Tangle Wire is doing literally nothing. Sure. Tap 3 things. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. So we gain some life. Not too worried about this Masticore quite yet. I guess that's a card. I think I kind of want to play my land and just actually hardcast this Gush on my opponent's end step. So here they're going to have to pay the Masticore upkeep, which is pretty good for me. Particularly because it doesn't look like they have Survival nor Squee. So it's costing my opponent some actual cards. I could also just like wait one more turn and then just actually bounce lands for Gush. That's also a possibility, but I think I kind of just want to draw. Actually, I cannot use Suron Orb, so maybe it's better to... Yeah, let's just hardcast this Gush here. This may be wrong. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So, I'm gonna gain some life with Ivory Tower. I'm gonna gain some life with Ivory Tower here. It's a good draw. So let's play Paradise, and I'm going to play Meddling Mage, naming Survival of the Fittest. And I guess I don't care about this, so I'm just gonna play out a land tax and just send the turn back. I don't really think I'm interested in plowing anything. And this Null Rod is blanking the Masticore, which is nice. But by naming Survival, it means that even if they draw the Survival, they can't actually go find Squee, so they need to naturally find their one of Squee. So this Masticore is kind of doing work for me. Winter Orb. Yeah, doesn't do anything against me. I mean, this is fine. I mean, my Ivory Tower blanks this Masticore, so I'm not particularly concerned about it. So we're going to tap the plains. Tangle Wire is going to tap my Ivory Tower. And I'm going to gain the exact same life that the Masticore took. Yeah, that's pretty good. So let's go. I guess I'm going to leave the plains up. And we're going to play Engineer Plague naming Elf. Kill the Priest. Swing. And now we are in a little bit of a stalemate where my opponent can't really attack with Masticore. It's also eating up their hand, and they're short on mana, so I think I think both the New World and the Winter Orb are doing really good work for me here. Tangle War did nothing, and then Winter Orb is actively helping me, and New World is actively helping me. Also, the Nasty Core is actively helping me as well. Yeah, this attack is great for me. I mean, if this is the game my opponent wants to play, it's not gonna work out well for them. Naturalize my Suran Orb. You got it. They should have killed the Ivory Tower. Maybe that was a mistake. Maybe they wanted to kill the Ivory Tower and they just clicked the wrong thing. Also, we just drew a Seal of Cleansing. It's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, I guess they just made a mistake there. They wanted to kill the Ivory Tower. Not that it mattered, because I still have the Source Supplasher, so I'm at 38. And like, whenever this would become anything resembling a problem, I can just plow this. So I think my opponent may have overboarded a little bit there. And they would have been better off if they just didn't play some of the stuff. Maybe they cut survivals. There's no way they could have cut survivals, right? But I mean, obviously, New World is pretty good against me. It's just a matter of in that particular scenario where, like, considering the cards that were being played, it just didn't work out. But obviously, I need to be wary of the New World, and I need to respect it. So I'm going to bring in some number of annuls. I think I'm gonna cut the Affection Furnace. And I do like the Seal, in case anything slips through the cracks. And I think that's it. So I need to choose, like, what is the worst card in this deck right now. I guess it's the foil. Yeah. It could be Gush, honestly. It could be Gush. Or it could be one of these Scroll Racks. The problem is my engine is such an important piece of my game plan that I don't think I can really cut racks. The two foil just seemed like such a great way to make sure that nothing goes too poorly. But obviously foil works great with the Gushes. Sideboarding with this deck sure is a challenge. I think I'm gonna cut the Gush. This, man, that one really, there's no way that this is right. I think I'm gonna cut the foil. Man, it's rough, right? It's really hard to tell. I do like this hand, you know, the Gush kind of punishing me for not siding it out. So we're gonna be playing towards, I think I want to actually tutor for Plague. Oh, sure. I think I'm actually gonna play the land tax here. And again, I'm looking to get to Plague, to the point where we have Engineer Plague. So I'm going to not play out the Undiscovered Paradise there. Well, that's really good. So I'm just gonna play Undiscovered Paradise and say go. And I don't want to play out the Mox Diamond because I'm not gonna use the mana, and I don't want to. Yeah, exactly. I just do not want to expose the diamond. Tranquil Domain in the survival deck. Well, I mean, this is definitely gonna work out for me. So let's E-tutor for Plague, and now we're gonna play Mox Diamond, discarding Paradise, play Plague and naming Elf, and just clear the board. So we are in okay shape here. Norod is great. Norod is really, really good, actually. But this means that we're gonna be playing a very long game here. So we're gonna have to buckle up and we're gonna have to take this pretty slowly. So alright, sure. I'm gonna play out one of these just so it sits in play. So the cards I'm trying to draw here are land tax, obviously. Oh, 2 mana to draw a card. Sounds good. We really want to dodge survival. Winter Orb. Yeah, this is actively helping me once again. So now we're just gonna name survival, which is kind of the only card that matters. Survival of the fittest. Yeah, I'm very surprised by my opponent playing Winter Orb against me. Like, it seems like a pretty good card in the Elf sideboard, but it just doesn't really strike me as a card that you would want versus Parfait specifically. So now we found land tax, which is probably the single best draw. So that's great. So now we're gonna start to, you know, we're gonna be able to gush. We're gonna be hitting all of our land drops. We kind of have a lock going on between Plague and Meddling Mage, so that's pretty nice. We're gonna be drawing some Some health. Okay, that's probably the full lock, because now I name Naturalize. And I think that should be enough to end the game. It also just casually doubles up my clock. But yeah, this looks really good. This looks really, really good for us. Be drawing some more cards. Tap the island. Tax for some basics. Draw another tax. Swing for 4. And play an island. Guess I just play another land tax. I mean, I'm gonna be discarding it if I don't. So I guess it's fine. And now I just discard planes. I think this is the full lock. Because the New World covers my opponent's Masticore. So Masticore is not threatening. So that just dies to the play. So that doesn't do anything. They can't naturalize my thing. So I guess the only card that would matter would be Nantuko whatever. Oh, that's cute. All right, sure. All right, that's cute. All right. So untap the planes, and I'm gonna say yes here. Draw some stuff. I'm gonna say no to the other one. So we got Gush, we got Source of Plowshares, we got Wrath. I think we just pass the turn here. I could play out, let's just play out the rack, because it's kind of just free. We're gonna discard Flooded Strand and an island. Oh, one more card? Sure, I guess I'm discarding the planes too. So that's fine. Opponent's gonna have a bunch of mana here, but I'm not sure what they can do with it. And they can't really attack with the bears, because I just like raised them back. So on top of the island, I think I'm gonna say no to these land taxes here. Another scroll rack. Play an island. I guess I'm gonna play another rack, might as well. Kind of just emptying my hand. I kind of don't want to discard islands. So now I can actually maybe rack once. But if at any point my opponent's board state becomes a problem, I can just Wrath and go from there. Untap an island. Trigger one of these land taxes. Not trigger the other one. Draw Seal of Cleansing. Okay, so that should be game. I think that should be game. So spend 2 mana, play Seal of Cleansing. I think we are Gucci now. Because now we're going to start drawing a million cards every turn. Opponent can't naturalize. So this is just fine. Let's play an island. And I think I upkeep here. So an upkeep. Let's blow up the Null Rod. Then we're going to rack all of these lands back into the deck. Yeah, these are some good cards. All right, perfect. So I think we should be good now. Yes. Find 3 lands. Get the other tax. Find some more lands. And we draw a null. Play Undiscovered Paradise. We want to make sure that we're holding up a null. So let's pay 1 and 1 to Blessing back, Seal of Cleansing, Enlightened Tutor, and I guess one island. Sewer and Orb, sure. I'll cast that. And we're just gonna go to discard here. Gonna discard Flooded Strand, one of these Gushes, and I guess one of these Silence and the Forest. So now we are going to, I guess we're just gonna be racking a bunch. Maybe I should have put more lands back into the deck. But I'm just so far ahead here that I don't think it matters. Uktabi. I'm gonna foil that one. Because that gets rid of my Mox. So Uktabi. Sure, discarding the other Gush. I'm drawing a gazillion cards. Like Gush just doesn't do anything. I'm just drawing 7.5 million cards. Let's untap an island. Rack. Put back the plains. I guess I'm gonna put back the Wrath too. And found 2 lands. Brutal. Alright. Shuffle. Say no here. Enlightened Tutor is perfect. So I can tutor for a Mox. I can tutor for Mox and then rack into it. But I guess I don't really have to just now. So we're just going to continue playing this game. And I guess I'm just going to do this on my opponent's end step. I guess I can also tutor for another Plague. I don't know, it's interesting. I definitely want to rack all of these away. Just draw some new cards. Okay, perfect. We did find the Mox. So we're kind of looking for... What's his name now? We're kind of looking for Gaia's Blessing. So land tax, trigger, shuffle, and now the clock is our only enemy. Play Mox, discard Flooded Strand. Our opponent's got 6 lands, so we can actually start playing for lands if we want to. Play that. Now I can gush my lands back. Yeah, sure. So let's tutor for, I guess, Ivory Tower. So we just have to find spontaneous generations, and then we're going to win. Let's just get Ivory Tower, I guess. Now we gush into it, play the tower, and we're going to play the rack. And the idea there is to just make sure... Oh, I guess I can just plow this thing now. Just plow one of these bears. And we can actually just close the game. Yeah. So the idea here is I would just want to rack these lands back into the deck, so I can draw them again. On my opponent's sensitive, I'm probably going to plow this bear token, but I don't want to do it now because I want to know what my opponent has going on for them. Another null rod. Ha! That's an interesting one. That's an interesting one. So what if my opponent has Masticore as one of their last 3 cards, and I annul this? I think I'm supposed to rack in response and put the lands back. But I'm not supposed to counter this. Okay, perfect. We found spontaneous generation, so now I think we're just good. So now we just let that resolve. That's fine. We can also just tutor for the thing, right? Because I guess this messes with my... We can just tutor for seal now. Yeah. So let's untap a white source, say okay. And now we're going to land tax a bit for some islands and some stuff. And still on my upkeep, I am going to just tutor for a seal. Yeah. So tutor for seal. And now we play island, play seal, play Mox, discarding Undiscovered Paradise, and now send it turn back. So now we still have a null because we can just pop the seal, kill the null rod, and we have access to like 3 mana with Mox. And we can also end step. Yeah, this should be locked up now. So block up the kill the null rod, scroll rack, shuffle these back, including the Wrath now. Those are fine. Kind of whatever. We untap, say okay, land tax. Some lands, Ivory Tower, and 1, 2, 3, 4 generation for a bunch. Play some Discover Paradise and pass the turn back, and now we just end the game next turn. Here we discard land tax, and I guess I discarded tutor and the Paradise. We still have a null in case my opponent has Masticore, and we should be in the clear. Perfect. All right, we got there. We got there. Man, this deck sure is something, huh? This deck sure is something. And I'm basically 100% certain that I've made multiple mistakes along the way here. But this deck just gets to a point where the advantage is so overwhelming that it doesn't really matter. Opponent could have second color here, but seems like down to 1. Is there anything I can mage? Like, is there any card at all that matters here? I don't think there's any card that matters, so I'm just going to pass the turn. All right, we got there. All right, 4th match. Ha! This is a hand. I like this. Keep. We can go turn 1 library, which is be exciting. I think I like that. So we're gonna go turn 1 library, fetching for an island. I guess we could... No, that's fine, yeah. So Mox Diamond, discard, forest, Flooded Strand, fetch, get an island, play library. I guess we can get a plains? Huh, there's an argument for getting a plains here so I can upkeep tutor for tax. Yeah, actually let's do that. So I still want a library on 1. because like it's, you know, I can start to get my value from, you know, immediately, which is great. So we're gonna see what we're playing against. Island. Okay, so okay, trigger on the stack. Let's tutor for a land tax. We're definitely gonna use this ability, and let's put that on top, and let's pay 4. I'm gonna play Paradise, and I'm gonna play land tax, and say go. My opponent went for basic island, so it could be Stifle Knot, it could be Standstill, could be a variety of different decks here. Play a second island for a Standstill. Okay. I mean, I'm probably okay playing this game, huh? So trigger land tax, say go. Island, island, island. That's a counterspell. That on top. Put that on top, I think? Yeah. So I could pop the Standstill right now to play Scroll Rack. Because what am I scared of? Like, my engine seems much more powerful than my opponent's. And I also have library going. And this way I guarantee that the rack resolves. Yeah, I think so. So let's rack, just pop the Standstill, that's fine. They draw a bunch of cards, but then I just pass the turn back. And I have both library and tax rack going. So this seems quite good here. Going to put a stop on my upkeep, because if my opponent does play a land, then there's no reason for me to actually tap the Undiscovered Paradise. If they don't stop my engine right now with like a seal or something, I think I'm gonna be able. Seal of Cleansing. Okay, there you go. So they're gonna be able to stop something, and they're kind of gonna have to. Okay, so they go after the tax, which makes sense. We're just going to pass the turn back. Now we're gonna get to deploy one more land. Tutor's great. So I guess I draw the tutor, I upkeep, fetch for land tax, and I fetch it off of, I draw it off of library. Say yes. Oh, so lucky. I think I just pay all the life here. Play the land, play the tax, say go. And now we hold up counterspell. And we still have another tutor for next turn. We have Swords to Plowshares to cover manlands. My opponent hit another land drop there, which is kind of good for me. Powder Keg. I think that's fine. It can blow up my Mox, but I mean, if my opponent continues to make land drops, which they kind of have to, right? Then Standstill. Sure. So here we rack 2, 3. It's nice. Untap. Land tax. Yes. To get 2 islands and a plains. It's not bad. Counterspell, foil counterspell. Okay. These are fine cards. Let's play a land. So I can pop something here if I want to. I can pop the Standstill. I think we just chill. I'm gonna discard Floodstrand, I think. Discard Floodstrand, say go. So my opponent's gonna get to pop the rack, but I'm gonna have gotten so much value from it by the time they get there. I'm also gonna be able to like set the next one up. Dust Bowl, interesting. Alright, rack on end step. For the 2 lands for sure, because I want to have more counter spells, I guess. And I guess the Gush. 3 on top, upkeep, say yes, and plains, library, another tutor. Yes, I think we just another rack. Okay, so put that on top, put the other counter on top. We're going to another island, I guess, and I guess that we can just blessing here, but that would pop the thing. Nah, this is fine. And now we're holding. Spawning gonna blow up land end step. Oh, cycle decree. Okay, sure. That is kind of a problem considering how low my life total is. So let's discard. I'm probably gonna pop the Standstill on my opponent's end step. So I'm just gonna discard blessing and 2 lands. So I really want to go find the. So let's. I think I just tutor in response here. So I tutor in response, pop the Standstill, and I kind of want to go find Ivory Tower here so that I can offset the Soldier damage. So we do find Ivory Tower, and I'm just gonna rack for a rack, get that back in there. The counterspell, 1 counterspell in there. All right, cool. So scroll rack down. Mishra's Factory. Okay, take 2. That's fine. So we really want to dodge another decree cycle. If we can dodge another decree cycle, we're going to be fine. Alternatively, I can draw the other, forgot the name, the one that makes a bunch of tokens. So let's find island, plains, draw library. Plow is kind of interesting, actually. Put that on top, put that on top. Play a plains, play ivory tower. I think I play out the rack here. So the idea here is to force my opponent to use mana on my terms. So I have triple counterspell here, so this rack is pretty likely to resolve. But I also don't really have to fight over it, because the idea is I want my opponent to... Okay, so that probably means that they have decree. So they're going to be able to decree for 3, which should be lethal. Which obviously is really bad for me because I would die. Guess I paid 1 too many life. Yeah, I paid 1 too much life for the library. Yeah, man, I die if Xaxes. I mean, maybe my opponent does not attack with the factory. We'll see. We'll see. My opponent may not attack with factory, and that can allow me to Source of Plowshare as one of the tokens. Never mind. They do attack with the factory, which is the correct play. I can still gush into another Source of Plowshares, so I'm very much going to attempt to do that, I guess. But so let's gush, mana leak. So I think it's better for me to like let this resolve. I'm gonna say no, and I'm just gonna use this mana to rack. So we're gonna rack for 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I need to leave an island to pitch to this foil. So I guess I'm gonna let the counterspell go. So I need to find the Source of Plowshares on the top 5 cards here. And I did not. Okay. Got there. So Engineer Play looks fantastic. Meddling Mage looks kind of unbeatable. Sylvan Library is great. And Knolls also looked pretty strong. So I think I want all 4 of them. We can cut this Source of Plowshares. We can cut the Furnace. I guess I can cut Surinor. Humility also gonna get cut. Blessing seems great. Seals seem great. Tudor seems fine. Foil Gush, all of these are great. Mox seems very good. Rack. I think I cut 1 Tudor. Have too many good cards here. This seems like a game that I should have won had I had more experience in the matchup. But I guess I left myself dead to something that was avoidable, right? Like I could have afford to not pay as much life for library, and I was maybe a little bit too aggressive. Like I put back a Source of Plowshares like a while back that maybe I shouldn't have, considering how the game was developing. So definitely was hurt by my inexperience in the matchup. But yeah, that certainly felt like a beatable draw. I think I'm gonna cut a couple of Tudors here. And maybe 1 foil. I guess I could cut Counterspell. And I don't think I want to cut a Mox. But maybe I should. Let's cut 1 Mox. Let's be on the play here. Ooh, turn 1 Blessing. Broken. This hand seems good though. Like I'm gonna keep it, I think. So let's go Mox. And I'm going to discard this Forest. And then I guess I'm gonna Blessing 1, which is kind of awkward, but it's fine. I don't think I want to shuffle the Forest, so we're just gonna draw here. Another Mox is interesting. So that's really bad in the face of Powder Keg, so I'm probably not going to deploy it unless I have something really good to do with it. Opponent turn 1 at Darker Wastes. Another Gush. All right, this is slightly awkward, but it's fine. My opponent doesn't know that, so we can fight the hidden information game here. Wonder if they're gonna slam the Standstill. Think I just pop it on my opponent's Sand Step? Is that crazy? Because that way they're gonna have to discard. No, I just don't. Let's play a Plains and say go. Turn 2 Standstill always very scary. Coastal Tap, the best land for them to have right there. Another rack. Okay. Here we go. Let's pop that. Gonna draw some lands here. Standstill gets popped. Draw some blanks. Let's play another land. Let's cast Scroll Rack. So my opponent can only mana leak this, and I can just pay for it. So that seems fine. Mana leak. I'm gonna say yes. And I could play Mox Diamond and like do the thing, but I think I'd rather just like have this sit in play. If my opponent wants to blow it up, that's fine. I have another one. But they're kind of limited on their amount of blue mana that they. So they tapped me out right there, but like they kind of threw away a mana leak, right? So here they can have a seal, which is obviously it's good for them. I imagine they're gonna pop it immediately, but then once again they're tapped. They're tapped out. So here with second Mox, I can another Gush. So play my land. I can play around another mana leak here. So I guess I want to do that. Discard that. Pop Scroll Rack number 2. They could have a null. That would be kind of annoying. Yeah, a null would be pretty annoying. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna float 2 and just Gush. Maybe I should have just like tapped both islands because this was a possibility. Alright. Alright. So play the Ivory Tower, pass the turn. This matchup seems kind of rough. Like our opponent has multiple ways of slowing down our engine. They have like multiple ways of attacking us that ignore what we're doing. Disenchant the Ivory Tower. Seems kind of aggressive. Unless they have like a way to blow this up, but maybe they have Powder Keg. If they have Powder Keg, like that probably ends the game. Okay. No, not the worst. Not the worst. I like that. Decent draw right there. What is mana is kind of awkward here. This seems worth annulling here. It's fine. Another annul is not the word. We can Gush. Cool. Foff would be kind of a problem. That kind of stuff. And all that. I mean, this is cool. We're just kind of trading all of our annuls 1 for 1, which is nice. Blessing. Ha! Okay, so I definitely want a Blessing, and I think I want to shuffle the other Blessing, this Ivory Tower, and I guess I can get a Scroll Rack or an annul in there. I think I want to get an annul in there. Drawing Undiscovered Paradise, which is not great. Yeah. I'm just gonna cast Gush here. My opponent could have Counterspell here, but that's kind of what it is. So play my land, and we can play land tax here through Mana Leak. Annul would get us, but Counterspell can also get us, but we're gonna be trading with Counterspell regardless, so it's fine. Annul. Yeah, that sucks. Alright, so we have nothing going on. We have nothing going on. And their opponent's got 4 cards in hand. Probably multiple counter spells and multiple creatures in there. Also, I have used all 3 of my Gushes. I mean, if this can eat a counter spell, that would be also kind of funny how I drew my 1 of Ivory Tower, which I literally just shuffled. Ooh, this ate like an actual counter spell. Yeah, that's pretty great. That is pretty great. So let's get another island into play. Opponent down to 3 cards, one of which is Foff. Okay. So I think my opponent, if I were my opponent, I would probably take whichever one has the most lands. So I think I'm going to do this. I don't think that Disenchant versus the other 3 is the way to go. Maybe they get Disenchant plus land, which could be okay, but man, that Foff was kind of brutal. That's a blank, so not much to do there. Just play a Plains and say go. Yeah, I think we're pretty much beaten here. I think we're pretty much dead. Opponent's gonna cycle Decree here for 4. So that's a 5-turn clock. Yeah, this matchup looks pretty miserable. This matchup looks quite bad for us. Gonna swing and pump. Good old swing and pump. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be able to win now. Because like whatever we have requires our engine, right? No, we don't really like. We can't really put that together because my opponent's got that Disenchant going on that we know about. Yeah, game 1 felt like it was winnable. This one kind of didn't. This one did not feel particularly winnable. It just felt like all of our cards just lined up poorly against our opponents, and I feel like that's just gonna be the case. Like my opponent's cards are pound for pound better than mine because mine are trying to assemble an engine. Like they only do something when the engine is assembled, why my opponents are just good by themselves, and they're also good at disassembling my engine. So yeah, that's gonna be game. Last match of the league, playing against the legend himself, Lanny. I think this hand is okay. Let's keep it. I don't know what he's gonna be playing. Skycloud Expanse. That's a card. All right. So lead on a land tax, which was a pretty decent draw, I would say. He's gonna choose to not play lands here. I think that's a game I can play. So let's play this game. Going to discard. Parallax died. So now we can like actually, this is interesting. So I guess I'm gonna play Flooded Strand. I'm gonna say go because I can just fetch and fail to find. So I play my land, but I can still, if I want to enable these land tax, I can be nice. So he's either playing blue-white solution or he's playing tax rack control, tide control, sorry. I'm assuming that he's on solution. So I guess I untap. I mean, I have Gush, right? I think I'm gonna tutor. I think I'm gonna tutor for Mox Diamond, actually. So now we untap. We're gonna cast this Mox Diamond. We're gonna send the turn back. Actually, I should have played the library. That was my bad. Should have played the library. I was kind of not thinking there. I think, yeah. I could shuffle. I could just like Flooded Strand. And like not do anything. Or, like fail to find. So I can basically LD him here. I think I want to. So we're just gonna fetch and just fail to find. And I assume he's gonna do the same. But that's nice. Because like we have agency over this. Like this is a game that I want to play. So I basically wastelanded him. And now we play a library. Say go. So I do think we're quite advantaged here with the current situation. Like he's not gonna be able to hold this up. And we are. Like we're eventually gonna find another Mox. We found a rack now. So that's good. So put that on top and I'm gonna pay 4 for life for the other one. So here's a rack. Here's a Flooded Strand. Okay. I think this is fine. Let's draw here. And I think I'm gonna pay 4 here. But now we're gonna play an island because we can just gush. And now our engine is gonna be online. Yeah, he knows it. He knows it. Let's fetch here. Get an island. Send it back. Foil is not bad. Put that on top. Just on the game. Here we go. Maybe I should have paid 4 for the foil. I guess I can still draw it if I want to. I can dash foil. Oh, he's actually playing. Oh, Opalescence. Okay, so we're actually playing against Replenish. He's playing a Replenish version with Skycloud Expanse. Okay. End step. Now, upkeep. We're going to rack. 1, 2, 5, 6. Send those to the top of the deck. And now he fetches. Oh, he's gonna stifle? Oh no, he's just going to like. Alright. Tap, draw, put that on top, put that on top. Well, guess you're gonna take 6. So we do have foil. I think I'm gonna play the Furnace. Activate. And we're fine here. Gonna discard rack. Gonna discard second land tax. I know there's 2 islands on top of my deck, but I mean, he just doesn't have lands. I don't know how he's winning the game. We have a 2-turn clock. Yeah. All right. Cool. So Replenish. Melee mages seem pretty decent. So Scott's Swords to Plowshares. Bring in Tormod's Crypt. Bring in mages. Let's bring in an Elves. And I think that's it. Humility out. I actually don't think Seal of Cleansing is great in this matchup. I think Annul is fantastic, but I don't think Seal of Cleansing is great. Ivory Tower can probably go. And after that what? Like Counterspell, like Annuls. I like Blessing. Blessing can also be used as a way to shuffle my opponent's graveyard back in, which is hilarious. Just very bad graveyard hate. Really silly. So he's gonna be forced into bringing in Swords to Pleasures because I'm assuming that he knows that I'm gonna be keeping in Melee Mages, which is great, right? So he's gonna be forced to keep in like this really bad card in the matchup just because of the threat of Melee Mage. Man, this card is just so sick in this format. Rack Tax seems great. Gotta cut 2 cards. I do wonder if I'm allowed to. I do wonder if I'm allowed to actually sideboard lands when I'm on to just cut lands in post cyber the games. Probably not. Let's cut 1 tutor. I guess the library. Library seems so great against an opponent that cannot pressure my life total though. I guess I'm gonna cut 1. Annul seems incredible though. I don't know. I don't know. Yep. Keep this in. Actually, I do want. Well, that's a draw. All right. So I guess we are playing land tax on 1. Oh, I misclicked. Whoops. I guess I can just play out the Surnorv to undo my mistake. That's fine. But I was supposed to play Undiscover Paradise. Seal oil here. So that's neat. Now we tax. Say yes. Blue, blue, white. We're just gonna name Meddling Mage here. I think we named Replenish. Yeah, let's name Replenish. Yeah, so at this point, he can't play the tax battle again. Or of Silence. Oh, Source of Plowshares. Okay. Into second seal. Okay. So let's land tax here. Blue, green, blue, I guess. Oh, yes. The dream. And Replenish again. I think I play the island and miss. Because I can always just like sacrifice something to Surnorv if he chooses to not play another land. Make some mana, play some Morph. Okay, so that's an Exalted Angel. Can I beat an Exalted Angel? Huh. That's a good question actually. I guess I side out all of my removal and my humility, right? I forgot that they have Exalted Angel post board. I guess I can just like Surnorv, right? Kind of raise it. So, trigger tax rack, say yes. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I want to tutor for. I guess I'm just gonna tutor for rack, huh? Light and tutor for scroll rack, draw, play a plains, play rack. And I guess I do attack here. Does he have a second Exalted Angel here? Because that can probably beat me. Alright, that's an attack for 2. Second main phase, nothing. Okay. Oh, I forgot to. Damn it. I'd always do this stupid thing where I forget to like sack Surnorv on my opponent's end step. Ugh, that sucks. So he's got effects on my upkeep. Interesting. Abeyance. Sure. Okay. So I am gonna rack in response for the full amount. Alright, so this Abeyance is kind of annoying. Sure. So I can't cast spells, but I can at least play this Flooded Strand. So I can potentially counter something. Oh, and Source of Plow. Whoa, that is a lot. Wait. Oh, it's only instant and sorceries. Oh, okay. That's a lot less bad for me, I guess. Here's another Meddling Mage then. I think I want to name Replenish here. And send the turn back. I thought that this was just Orium's Chant, but it isn't. Yep. So my opponent's gonna flip the angel now, and that's gonna be not great for me. So I'm gonna have to raise an Exalted Angel, which is not an easy feat, I will say. So here we're just going to sack Flooded Strand to Surnorv. We're just going to land tax for the full amount. Draw another rack, it's not great. Let's play second land tax. And I guess I want to main phase rack. 1, 2, 4. Maybe hold on to the island foil. Okay, play island because I can gush now. So swing. This is kind of rough. So I need to spontaneous generation here. It's the only thing that I can do. So take 4, and we have to find spontaneous generation very quickly. I do have some pretty strong digging capabilities. Nice. He's tapping a lot of mana. That's so many Skycloud Expanses. Parallax Wave. I guess I just counterspell that. I can just annul. It's just annul. And I guess I'm triggering tax rack here anyway, so I might as well just untap. We're gonna get also 4 rack activations. So draw a million cards. Find another tax. 2 mana. Gush. Find some more cards. Gonna use one of those blue mana to rack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Your casual draw 9, of course. But no spontaneous generation. Ugh. No spontaneous generation. That's bad. That's bad. That's bad. That's bad. So let's play my island. Let's Mox, discarding Paradise. Guess I'm gonna play another land tax. Let's play a rack and send for 2. Yep. End step. We're just gonna discard this library, I guess. I really need to find spontaneous right now. Deep analysis. Okay. I think I just counter that. 2 for 1. And I guess I can just exile it if I want to. Replenish is taken care of anyway. City. Damn. Alright. Yeah, you got me. Deep analysis. Just played fair and square. That's why I love this format so much. So let's just pull this stuff back in. Leave the foil. Sucks. Upkeep. Trigger on the stack. We're gonna rack 5. Oh, I guess I want to shuffle first. Oh, I misclicked. Oh, I misclicked. Oh, that's brutal. So I wanted to like undo because I needed to shuffle first. Yeah, that was so bad. All right, my mistake. Now we rack 1, 2, 7, 9. Did I find spontaneous generation? No, still nothing. Ugh, ugh, ugh. Okay. 1, 2. Man, the mechanics of this deck are what scares me the most about playing it. The mechanics of this deck can be truly mesmerizing, kind of. Okay. So, how do we undo this problem that I got myself into? So let's swing with Mage. Let's cast another Mage. I think we're naming Swords to Plowshares. And I guess I'm going to Blessing. Oh, I didn't exile the Phyrexian Furnace, so let's activate Furnace. And we're gonna Blessing, I guess, Forest, Island, Foil. 1. Okay, discarding Tutor, discarding. We have Foil, Counterspell. Oof, man, this Exalted Angel is strong. Seems like a good card. Okay, so the top of my deck has been shuffled, so that's not that big of it. So let's draw first. Let's actually activate the first land tax. Let's get 3 lands. Then we're going to rack 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. Okay, we may be fine. Okay, we may be fine. Big stress on maybe. So get all of that stuff. Say yes again. Get even more lands. Just 16, 17 cards in hand. So now we're just going to Spontaneous Generation for 17, 16 I guess. That is 16 1/1s, which can actually raise an Exalted Angel. Just one, I mean, you can find enough random nonsense that you can just raise an Exalted Angel. Let's play Nyland and Mother Land Tax. And I still have Counterspell plus Annul plus Foil here, so I'm just going to say go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we should just have to figure this stuff out. So I want to find another Blessing so I can shuffle back Blessing, some counter magic, and the Spontaneous Generation. He casts Abeyance, which I'm going to counter. We still have Foil, we still have Annul. I guess we also have Gush while we're at it. Imagine playing this deck in paper though. Just look at all of these game objects that I have in play. It's kind of ridiculous. He's attacking. Okay. So we're gonna swing back for 20. He's gonna go down 5. End step. So I'm gonna rack on end step because I might as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I'm gonna keep the Gush, send the island back. So let's rack there. Okay, so we did find 1 Blessing there, which is nice. So untap, trigger tax 3. Notably, Scroll-Rack actually does not draw cards, so we cannot be decked by it. So that's very nice. I think I want to put this back. 5. Tax again. 1, 2, 3. To shuffle. 3 cards left in deck. Say no. We're gonna draw a card. Another foil. It's Blessing back, Spontaneous Generation, Gaia's Blessing, and I guess an Island. Draw the Generation? We did not. There's 4 cards left in my deck, so I guess I can just draw the Generation if I want to. So let's just do that, I guess. So 1 mana. Yeah, so we racked for 4. We're just gonna make another Spontaneous Generation for a bunch. We can swing for 20 this turn and like bring Lanny down to 5, and then we just close the game on the following turn with even more Saproling tokens, and we have double foil plus counterspell up. So that was a heck of a match. That was awesome. Well, this deck was sure something, huh? Some crazy interactions, some wild sequencing, and Jesus, this deck really is not one that you can just pick up and like hope that you're gonna be doing well at like the event that you're playing at, huh? I feel like there's a couple of things that are interesting about this deck. Number one, I kind of feel like I want to have access to a main deck Engineer the Plague. I think that the Plague could like take the space of maybe like even the 3rd copy of Gaia's Blessing or something like that. Even maybe the Phyrexian Furnace, honestly. But I do feel like it's more important to respect decks like Elves. Even we didn't get paired against Goblins, but I do feel like that is the kind of deck that can kind of get a little bit ahead too quickly for us to be able to catch up. And one thing that it's true is like, given enough time, this deck is probably going to overcome literally everything in the entire format. But it's not a given that you're going to have that much amount of time. And even Humility plus Spontaneous Generation, which can eventually brick wall literally everything, it just takes time to set up. And if you have a Goblin Lackey that's, you know, attacking you, you're not going to have that amount of time. So you need some sort of like instant catch back mechanism like Engineer Plague. I feel like the singleton copy is great, and this deck is playing like almost Brainstorm in the scroll rack. So even if you do happen to draw like the 1 copy of Plague, is like it's not a big of a deal. You can always just shuffle it away. But it's very interesting. I feel like there's a lot of and this is what I really enjoy about this kind of deck. Like there's a lot of just space for learning and like fixing mistakes and things like that. Like I feel like the match that I lost against Goblins because I plowed the wrong creature. If I know enough about the matchup, I'm going to save the Swords of Pleasure for the Korean Ranger, kind of ignore the Priest, and then potentially be able to come back in that kind of stuff. So it's like the small interactions and like being able to properly assess what is worth dealing with and what you just have more time to kind of deal with in another manner. So it does feel like that is going to be very, very important in order to having success with this deck. It was really cool though. I actually had a really good time trying to navigate all of these crazy matches and like trying to use proper use of my cards and like figuring things on the fly. It was actually really, really enjoyable. Hopefully you enjoyed it as well and we learned a little bit together. If you did, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and let me know in the comments what you liked, what you disliked, what mistakes I made, which you're probably going to have. You're gonna have a ball trying to figure that out. But this was a lot of fun. Hopefully you enjoyed it. We'll see you in the next video, folks. Take care and long live Premodern. Best format.